Welcome to the Whiskey After Work podcast. This is where booze meets business. I'm Doug Shaw, owner of Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors.
And I'm Melissa Hergert, owner of Brain Train Centers.
We are serial entrepreneurs that love to learn from other successful professionals and love to drink whiskey. Hello, Eric Burns.
Hello, Douglas. How are you?
You do not look anything like Melissa Hergert.
Not at all. Not as pretty and probably not as fun to be around.
So, as you guys will be figuring out real quick, Melissa's on hiatus. We are recording on August 1st, and as we speak, she is stumbling around Fremont Street in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Melissa.
Yes, celebrating 40 years. So she is old with the rest of us now.
Ooh, she's going to kill you for saying the age.
I don't give a shit. So get that out of the way. Happy birthday, Melissa. She's 40 today. If everybody wants to get on social media and hit her and tell her happy birthday, or send me an email to whiskeyafterworkpodcast@gmail.com and I'll tell her for you. We are recording today from Gibney's Tavern in the Avenues in West Cobb. We'll be having John Gibney on the show today, and John's the owner of this tavern and quite a few others. Today's episode is brought to you by Brain Train Centers, Keystone Realty Group, and Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors, as well as Gibney's Tavern, obviously, because they're letting us record here, so we better give them a few shout-outs. The best part is about them, you can come in and support them real easy by buying some drinks, eating some food, all the above, having a good time. They're on Dallas Highway, or Marietta Highway, or whatever it is right here. It's Highway 20, and or is it 120?
It's 20.
120, yeah. Whitlock Avenue to Dallas Highway to Marietta Highway to whatever they change it to. I think it turns into God knows what down there, like Bill Carruth. I mean, he keeps Charles Hardy. He keeps changing
The
names.
West Cobb Avenues.
The West Cobb Avenues. Yep. So, today's guest is John Gibney. I wanted to do a few things before we get rolling with him. I wanted to one, remind everybody that anything you hear said on the show today is the opinion of the idiot who says it, and nobody else, no business or anything. It's an individual talking, and if you're easily offended, you probably could find 100 other podcasts on here that'll make you happier. And so just to say that, wanted to give a little bit of a somber shout out today. Lost a good friend Saturday in a tragic drowning accident up at Lake Lanier. Wanted to tell everybody to keep the family and friends of Tracy Stewart of Stone Mountain, Georgia, in their thoughts and prayers. And he was a really good dude. He was a cigar smoker and a whiskey drinker and a great guy to hang out with. And anybody who was a regular at the Falcons games knew this guy, and he was a lot of fun to tailgate with. And we're going to miss him a bunch, and it sucks. But we're going to keep moving on, and just everybody kind of keep the family in their thoughts and prayers, and appreciate that.
Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, John Gibney.
Thank you for having me. I think we'll see how this goes. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why.
Shouldn't be. I mean, we're drinking.
Yeah.
We're bullshitting.
Awesome.
That's pretty much what you do for a living, right?
Yeah, and this young man has been supporting me for many, many years, so God bless.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you started and how you got here, and just kind of roll with it.
I'm going to take a little...
Oh, okay. We'll take a sip.
Cheers. Well, came out to West Cobb because of schools. We were in Smyrna for 20 years. My wife and I have two kids. I have a daughter, Ava, and she's started school today at Harrison, and she's a junior. And my son started Lost Mountain Middle, Reese, and he's in 8th grade. So school's very important to my wife, so she wanted to actually move to East Cobb initially because her friends all lived out there. So I was like, I do not want to go that far. And I kind of didn't. My sister lives not too far away, so I knew this area a little bit. But I'm so happy that we moved out here, and now she is too. I mean, it's awesome out here.
No, I love it out here. Yep.
No regrets in where we moved. I'm only sorry that we didn't move sooner. It was a good secret.
Yeah, no, West Cobb schools are good out here. Harrison, nobody famous from there at all? Just the starting quarterback of the
Yeah,
Chicago
right.
Bears.
So we are supporting very proudly the football team this year. So we're going to be, I'll be on the sideline, and we're going to be supporting with meals, and it's going to be hopefully a new beginning.
That's good. That's they won the state championship a few years back.
I believe that's right. And actually, my daughter's boyfriend is he's on the football team too, so we'll give him a shout out.
So where are you from originally?
I am from Staten Island, New York.
I thought you had a Southern Alabama accent. I wasn't really sure.
I never thought I'd leave Staten Island, but again, glad I did. I did come down there to help out a buddy during the Olympics with a chain they had, Charlie and Barney's, in the Peachtree Center Mall. So that snowballed into them offering him ownership and him offering me ownership, and then we ended up moving down here. And of course, he was married at the time with the child, so it was awesome, which forced me to move to Smyrna because I was living downtown for a little while.
It wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So were you in the business? Were you in the restaurant business in New York too, or?
I in and out of it for years. I believe I was a bouncer when I was 17 years old, and did that for a couple of years in bartending. I went to the police academy when I went on a job in New York when I was 20 years old. So I did that for like 3 years. I wanted to be a fireman, and that didn't play out the way. So I wind up going back into on the commodities exchange, stock exchange, and then basically got back into construction and bartending. And then I did want to own a restaurant. That was always my childhood dream.
Everybody dreams of being painfully tired and broke.
It's been a journey, that's for sure. And COVID is still, it's altered it. So it's hopefully it's going to get back to normal.
Thank God you were in Georgia when COVID hit.
You are not kidding.
They got them back open pretty quick.
Yeah, we had the I have the pub downtown, and it's been 26 years
In Atlanta.
Yeah, and still in the Peachtree Center Mall, still the same location. We changed the name. My partner at the time, Joe Romano, we changed it to Gibney's Pub. He thought I had a good name for a bar.
You do.
And he thought Romano was a little too much. Meanwhile, him and his wife owned the majority of it.
Yeah.
And so I think it was 2006 we changed it. So, and of course, down there it's still struggling a little bit, but conventions are coming back, and it's been a good business down there for years. So hopefully it gets back.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, it got a little shady down there after the riots and that, but new mayor seems to be. He really does. He seems to be getting the police department back in order, and they got the new police chief, and it's I spend a lot of time downtown. I have season tickets to Atlanta United, so we're down there a lot, and it does seem to be getting a little bit better. And we were down Saturday night, and it's the first time we've been to downtown Atlanta on a date night in years, and went down to Red Phone Booth, and if you've never been down there, it's a really cool place, a speakeasy. And I was surprised. It was things are looking back up. I'm hoping that's a good sign that things are coming around in Atlanta, because Atlanta's a great city, or at least it was, and it was a great city for restaurants and pubs and bars. So
it's got to happen. The infrastructure's there, so they cannot let it not happen. And we have the biggest airport, so they really should. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, and with the conference, the World Congress Center and that down there, they need it. Huge hotel going in by the Congress Center. I don't know if you've seen it. It's between the Congress Center and Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think it's going to be the biggest hotel in Atlanta. It's monstrous. And they did open a Hard Rock hotel down there in Castleberry, and right by the stadium. And it's got a rooftop bar, and it's been open about a year. So
I heard they're building a Margaritaville also.
It's already there. It's on International, right across from Centennial Park. Yep, it is. It's right there, real close to the Tabernacle.
Because I heard there's rumors if the casino bill passes, they can convert it.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And CNN's almost completely moving out of the CNN Center. Mm-hmm. They're moving pretty much all their offices to New York now, all their production up there. So there's going to be a lot of empty space there down where the old Omni was, where the Omni Hotel is now. And I look for that to be turned into some sort of an entertainment district or something. It could be used a lot between the stadium, the arena, and the Congress Center. And that'd be good for your business down there.
I believe it would be, and I would be very welcoming that.
Yeah. So it's I'm hoping. Like you said, I'm seeing a lot of the convention traffic's coming back. Been down for a couple conventions here in the last 6 months, so.
That's interesting, though, with the casino, because, with the hotels, with the buildings above us, a lot of the people never came back. So there's a lot of space that they could do a lot of good things with if there was a entertainment district. Anyway.
So, West Cobb, I mean, this is how many restaurants do you own?
Really just this one and the one downtown. And this one, of course, consists of the SEMA, which we may be rebranding. I'm working with the landlord. Might be trying to do bagels. Believe it or not, my brother-in-law owned bagel businesses, and
The closest good bagel shop to here is Arts,
absolutely.
and that's a haul from here.
I agree. And we make the trip just to get a good bagel.
Oh yeah,
so.
my daughter who lives in State College, Pennsylvania. There's two things she's got to do when she comes back, and that's Waffle House and Arts Bagels.
Well, we're going to give them a run for the money. So that's we'll see. We're in the process right now.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I think it'd do really good.
Yeah.
And that's in the old Theo Brothers Bakery. So did you get all the equipment from the old bakery too?
You
or
know,
no?
we did, but it turned out to be, I want to say it was mostly rotted and rusted.
And they turned that into like a hot chicken place or something in the end.
They had the baker's oven there, and I thought I was going to be able to use it, but I wound up taking it down. So we're going to do things a little different. We've done a test run already. We're going to be making bagels out of a pizza oven.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you're gonna boil and bake?
Yeah, we're going to boil. You got to boil.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And of course, we're doing the pizza already. So we have the kettle, we have the mixer, we have everything. So.
Yeah, I had the pizza last week. It's really good.
So, we winded up with Zuka. Once we,
Now Zuka was your.
it was the restaurant I opened up with my two buddies from high school. We were all downtown at Gibney's, and which was Charlie and Barney's at the time, and it was just too much for three of us in one location. So my partner Joe, he found a location out here for Smyrna, and we did Zuka. And basically, we won the International Pizza Show in 2008. And that actually recipe for the dough came from a friend of ours that we played football with in Staten Island. So
Oh, wow.
kudos to Giuseppe's in Staten Island that they really gave us a good gift.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was single in those days, and I could walk to Zuka's. I live so close, and I think I paid the power bill. I ate there so many times.
The worst is when the credit cards would start showing them how much they were spending. We're like, don't show your wife that.
Oh, gee.
Well, the worst was when my wife would show up, and there would be a tab hanging up there. And John, hey, Eric left us last night. And
Well, to show my age, back when we first got married, we went to Jamaica on a late honeymoon, like 6 months after we got married. And really, that's when debit cards were first coming around. I got married in 96, and this would have been spring of 97. And we had to use my grandfather had a heart attack while we were on our honeymoon, and I had to make an international call from Jamaica, and I didn't have a calling card or anything at the time, so I had to use my check card, and I had no way of knowing how much they were putting on the card, charging me for this. And when we got back, I went to it might have been Nations Bank then, Bank of America, and I went to the office. I said I need to figure out how much these charges were so I could balance my checkbook, because at that time I didn't even have a computer. And she's going down through, and she's like, "Ooh, you eat a lot of tacos." And I'm like, "What?" There was a Taco Mac that was outside the entrance to our apartment complex in Douglasville, and we were eating there like 3 times a week. And she's like, "You eat a lot of tacos," and she's going down there. So, yeah. So, boy, if you were eating there when you were single, this was a while ago.
yeah, so I got married in 2005. So you opened up there probably, 99, 2000?
It was 2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Now, was it right in downtown Smyrna, like in the little
Market Village.
market? Yeah.
We're right across from Atkins Park, which they opened up 6 months after us, and everybody was concerned.
Are they still there?
Oh yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
good, and we became really good friends. We traveled the world together too. So
Those guys, they started out in Virginia Highlands, didn't they? Wasn't there? I think
Yes.
that's the one we used to go to, was in Virginia Highlands.
Yes.
yeah, Warren Bruno was the original owner. Warren unfortunately did pass years ago, but so Kevin Drower is there with Rusty Hamlin, who was a chef for Zach Brown Band and became a good friend of mine as well. So
Yeah, we would go there on Tuesday nights, and Wyatt was one of the bartenders. and Zach Brown would play on Tuesday nights.
Yep.
And Wyatt would jump over the bar and sing some songs with him. But come to find out, Wyatt has written pretty much every one of Zach Brown's songs. So
Absolutely.
he's
All
not
the
a
good ones.
he's not a bartender anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
But they had a pretty successful career, Wyatt and Zach.
I was going to say, Zach used to play like almost like a house band at the Dixie Tavern up at 41 in Windy Hill in Marietta.
So that's where Rusty met him, and then they started working together, and then Rusty started at Atkins Park. And that's how they all became friends.
Yep.
And now Rusty's on the road with him now. He does all the food for the tour.
Wow, that's the funny thing is people who like country music, the Dixie Tavern right there at the corner of 41 on Windy Hill, and then Caddy Corner, and it's not there, it's been long gone, but the old buckboard.
Mm-hmm.
And the buckboard, God, what was his name now that was the house band in there that became real famous? It wasn't Doug Stone. It was
Travis Tritt played there a lot.
Travis
too.
Tritt played there a lot. Reba McEntire played in there once in a while. Confederate Railroad played between there and Miss Kitty's over on Franklin Road. But it was there was another, and I cannot think for the life of me. There was another pretty big name. It wasn't. I keep thinking Doug Stone, but it wasn't Doug Stone. It was somebody similar to him. But yeah, that's weird that little like 1 mile radius up there was a bunch of small bars that all these country acts started at. And I mean, Zach Brown, geez, man, you can't get much bigger than what he's gotten. You know, when Jimmy Buffett finally quits touring, Zach Brown's the heir apparent. He's going to take over that. And
Now we're drinking his wine too.
it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad at all. He's an interesting guy, and they've done, he had his recording studios and that for a while, Southern Ground, and I think they've kind of stopped that. But Blackberry Smoke was recording with him. He had a lot of big names starting to record with him too. So it's just kind of funny that Marietta, Georgia, of all places, you don't think of that as a hotbed of country music, but it really was. You think Confederate Railroad got really big, and God, Travis Tritt is still, touring and doing really well. So,
yeah, I grew up right down the street from there in Smyrna, and I went to Campbell High School. So I guess Julia Roberts will be our famous alumni from our school.
Oh yeah, and Eric too.
Close second.
Close second. So, but yeah, so you married and got kids that you mentioned, and kids in high school here in Cobb. You got any other plans for restaurants, or are you just going to try to handle the two you got?
Really just handled the two. It's it's been working a little more than I used to. So got to get these on the right track.
Yeah, you mentioned COVID earlier. How did that change the landscape business? I know Georgia was opened up a little quicker than some other states, but
downtown we were closed for 11 months out of a year, and of course the landlord worked with us. All the loans that they helped, gave. The grants helped a lot, but downtown is still not right. But this one is still tough. Just hiring, we have a hard time. I know, we don't have mass transit out here, so we can't get. It's tough getting staff, and that kind of limits the things we could do. We do want to be open up 7 days a week. Currently, we're open up 6. We want to try to get more. Besides the bagels, try to do more of the Italian concept that we did at Zucca in Smyrna. I have all those recipes, and I really want to put them to use. We're trying to do some in this back room, actually.
Yeah, this is a nice place. It's for those that are local listening. It's the old Aspen's Steakhouse that was in West Cobb, and it's a beautiful place and nice bar area, nice restaurant, a couple of nice private rooms, small and big, and you rent these out for events.
We do, and fortunately, pretty consistent with some chiropractors in the neighborhood. But it's funny, we moved out here a little over 4 years ago, and we came here once, and I said to the waiter, I said, "You're going to be seeing a lot of me. I'm going to be in this building a lot." My daughter laughs. She goes, "Yeah, Dad, you're in this building a lot now." So we got to eat here, I believe, twice, and then they closed. So.
Yeah, I told you earlier when we were talking. This was but when it was Aspen's, it was when they first opened. It was their favorite restaurant of my wife and I's, and then it kind of went downhill. But we still came here for desserts and drinks after dinner a lot, and And glad to have you guys back open. It's kind of given this area doesn't have a lot of places like this. Kind of a local tavern, local restaurant to hang out at. So,
Well, thank you. And it's only growing, so it's getting better, and we're figuring out the learning curve. It's been just over a year right now, so
yeah, and it's not the same clientele as your other restaurant.
no.
It's a different demographic, probably a different average income level out here too. So
It's nice. So downtown's interesting because everybody's on a 3-day pass. So they're in town for their concert, get ball game, and so they come in, they party it up for 3 days, and we like them, but we like to see them leave too.
So hey, what are we drinking?
Well, this is McConnell's, and my boy, Scott Kinsburner.
Yeah, I think we've met.
Yeah, he's awesome, and this actually, he reps this brand. It's phenomenal.
What distributor is this with?
This is with National,
Okay. Yep.
and Scott, I forgot who he's used to be with Robert Shaw, but he introduced me to this. It's delicious, I believe. I do drink a lot of Jameson on a daily basis, just to cheers with the customers, but this is good.
Yeah,
Not to interrupt you, but what is the rules in Georgia with the distribution? Because I know, does each company have to have their own distribution, or how does they can't sell direct?
Okay, so it's changing every day. So farm wineries and vineyards now can get a distribution license and sell direct. Microbrewers haven't got to that point yet, so they can sell a certain amount at their place, at their breweries, but if they want to sell any kind of quantities, 12 packs, whatever, 6 packs, 12 packs, they have to go through a distributor. So they're still working through the 3-tier system in Georgia. And I think as of right now, distillers are the same way. You can buy a bottle at the distillery, you can buy mixed cocktails, drinks at the distillery, samples, but they still have to sell through a distributor. Wineries were the first ones to get to self-distribute if they chose to, and it's hard. It is hard to self-distribute if you get too far out from where you're located at, and then you'll end up most of the time finding a distributor and using them anyway. But it's coming, I think, with the breweries. Is probably coming next. They've been pushing hard to get that law changed, and I think this next session it's going to get changed. But as of right now, yeah, they got to play that game, and the big guys make it real hard to compete.
Yeah, originally when the breweries opened, they had to you had to get like a couple of tickets, and you could just sample.
Yep.
They weren't even allowed to sell.
Yeah, it's silly. It's archaic. I mean, Georgia's still got a law that no one person or entity can have more than 2 retail licenses. So, like Total Wine in Georgia, only 2 locations have liquor. You can have wine and beer at all of them. You can get as many of those licensed, but when it comes to liquor, no name or entity can have more than 2 liquor licenses. And so yeah, Total Wine struggles. I mean, that's one of the reasons that you don't see the big Minks and Greens and things like that coming in and taking over a lot of small liquor stores. Now, I don't think with the restaurants you can have as many serving licenses as you want. I think, can't you?
I believe, yeah. Of course, I'm downtown. I'm here, but I was trying to get the wine to go, which they do, and I believe in the city of Atlanta or somewhere, to be able to sell wine. It would be great, but not yet.
It's that can be done down at the city and county level, depending on if you're in a city limits or you're in a county. They can change that with local government. So they also, I'm seeing more and more entertainment districts where they allow you to have an open container. Kennesaw's got one downtown. Marietta's got one downtown. Dallas, Georgia just did one. I don't know if Hiram's done it yet. Ackworth, I think they're getting ready to do one downtown, so you can walk from, if you have it in a plastic cup or whatever, you can walk from bar to bar. So what this whiskey? It's an Irish, and this might be the first Irish we've had on the podcast, and that's a good thing.
It's funny because I have an Irish name, but I'm just a little bit Irish. But I do love the whiskey.
Now, that's from Northern Ireland. That's Belfast.
That is correct.
Is it sherry finished? Does it have an age statement on it?
It is.
Yeah.
5-year sherry.
This almost drinks like a Highland Scotch.
Do you know, I'm a big bourbon guy, but for some reason lately, I am loving just Irish whiskey.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of Irish whiskeys are finished in bourbon barrels too.
Yeah,
I know Jameson does
Yeah.
a lot of that, but this is sherry casks. So this reminds me a lot of non-peated Highland scotches, and I love the Dalmore and Aldor and what's the Glendronach, and that's what this reminds me of. All those. It's a nice malty kind of. You can definitely taste the sherry. If you, this is a bourbon tasting wheel, but it works just fine for these types of whiskeys. And if you look in there, you probably are going to get in that Burgundy area where you get the rich and sweet and the caramel and some of those other flavors. You're going to get that in here. So, because I can definitely taste the caramel and the vanilla and a little bit of the molasses, and that it's a very sweet.
So I know you
Sweet
touched on
caramel.
it in one of your prior episodes, but what was the smelling through your mouth?
Well, when you nose a whiskey, and we're using, these are Glencairns. When you nose a whiskey, you should breathe with your nose and your mouth. So you should have your mouth open and breathe at the same time, and you'll get a lot of the. I mean, John, stick your nose in that glass.
I mean,
too.
it smells delicious to me.
Yeah,
And
really,
you pick up all of those sweet and syrupy and just, this is delicious, man. This is really good.
That's really good,
Like,
John. Great choice.
Yeah, I could definitely put a bottle of that in the cabinet. I'm going to have to drink a few bottles to get one in, but
Well, I expect to finish this with you gentlemen.
I expect
Today.
to help you. So this is, again, is it McConnell's? Is that what it was?
Yep.
This is McConnell's Irish whiskey, and I have never heard of this. It's a
haven't
sherry
either.
cask finish. It's from Belfast, Northern Ireland. I don't think I'm going to go to Northern Ireland. I'm going next year to watch Georgia Tech play Florida State,
Nice.
August of 24. But I don't think we're planning on going to Northern Ireland while we're there.
Aromas of dried figs, dark chocolate, and lingering spice.
There you go.
Yeah, I like the chocolate.
Where are you finding that on your wheel, Eric? That's down in the orange, too. That's kind of like a mix between the burgundy and the orange.
Yeah, I see that. I like the chocolate.
No, I'm a big fan of that. The cocoa and the chocolate in the whiskeys. So that's good. That is very good.
I like a little spice to it. I don't like it when it's too hot, too much proof, but this was really smooth.
That's probably just 80 proof. I didn't see anything. Most Irish whiskeys are.
Yeah, 46%.
Ooh, 92.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That is good. Yeah, that's really smooth for 92. Outstanding.
So do all the distribution companies come in and have to put out their portfolio, and you have to sample and decide what you want to carry in the bar?
You know, they try hard, and, you know, some of them win easy. So, you know, I do enjoy the tastings, and, you know, the gentleman from National, he's a really good guy.
Yeah. I don't know many people from National anymore. I've got friends that used to be there, but they're all kind of scattered in the industry now. So,
Yeah, this job has its perks. You know, we taste a lot of wine. I've, since COVID, moved the wine box from out of the restaurant to our basement, so my wife and I drink a lot of wine.
that's my wife's definitely moved to more to the wine side of things. And of course, our guys at Three Strands, we did an episode with them a few weeks ago, and yeah, she's out there quite a bit. And it's great to have a couple of local vineyards that are actually making good wine.
Yeah, a few of my neighbors have been there, and they really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that there's actually starting to be a true kind of a Georgia wine region. But then when you found out that before Prohibition, they had like some insane amount of acreage in West Georgia that was the Hungarians were growing grapes, and that Georgia was actually one of the biggest wine growing regions in the United States before Prohibition.
Wow.
And then they pulled up all the vines and burned them and shit. The government, we're from the government. We're here to help.
Oh, man.
They make everything better, don't they?
Always.
So, but yeah, so it's.
Did you say we're the government and we're here to help?
Yep. That's right. Ronald Reagan said those are like the worst words you could ever hear, was we're from the government and we're here to help. So, Horrible.
So if you had people getting into the restaurant business now, what advice would you have for them?
It's tough. Right now, it's tough. If you're a chef, I think you can dictate, a lot better. So, trying to hire out to get good help. So, of course, I can make pizza and, I can work the grill, but, you can only do so many things at once.
The secret Gibney recipes.
Yeah, I like to, indulge with the customers a little bit and converse, but, we got to wear a lot of hats right now. I want to get back to the way it was.
For a local restaurant to really succeed, and I've watched it time and time again, the ones that always fail are the ones where you don't have that personality that's out there working with the customers. Somebody that they see, hey, John, they want that connection. Food's got to be good. Cocktails have got to be good, but they want that connection. They want that personal connection. And if the owner's not there or the chef's not out in front, you have to have that manager or somebody that's got that personality that they can interact and really make the customers feel like, this is your place, right? This is home.
Yeah, my friends really enjoyed it last week when you went back and showed us the back room here at Gibney's. A couple of my neighbors came back and you gave them a little tour, and they were like, "Man, that was so cool that you took time."
It's the little things like that that make it the personal touch that gets people coming back.
Yeah, because they were like, "I know he's so busy, but he took a few minutes to walk us through the restaurant and show us, and we thought that was really cool." So
I've seen your neighbors quite often, so thank you and thank them.
I'm trying to get them to be more regulars here.
There's a restaurant up in Ackworth, and we all know who it is, and the food is, it's okay, it's good, it's not great, but the personality, man, he brings them back in every single time. Had a little bit of TV time back in the day, I think about 10 years ago or so. He had a little bit of time on like CBS or something for some contest they had, and that celebrity and that personality and stuff, man, it goes a long way in keeping people coming back. So you just got to continue being a charming guy, John.
Yeah,
that's all you can do.
I feel like I'm getting old. My kids are making fun of me every day. It's great.
Oh, I'm an easy target for my kids also.
I don't know what I was wearing yesterday. My daughter just starts laughing at me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I used to upset me when they get like that. Mine are adults now, and they still laugh at me. But one, don't laugh too much because you're still asking me for money. Two, I know something, and sooner or later you're going to be in the same spot as me, and you're not going to be cool anymore either. And so, just watch it.
Yeah, her timing is interesting because she's getting her license. She passed the driver's test yesterday. I'm like, I wouldn't be making fun of me.
No, that's my youngest one. Still has my car. Of course, I pay every time it breaks down. She's like, you got to fix your car. So good, because next year when I give you the title, it's your car,
but
your
they're
insurance.
both out of school now, right?
No, the youngest one, she just moved back to Athens this week after her internship with Publix down in Florida. She's got one more year in Athens for undergrad. She says she's trying to get into law school up there. So
a really good law school.
They do. It's tough to get into. So she's looking there, and she's looking at Georgia State, which also has a very good law school. So, but it's all on her after that. This is it. I help them through their undergrad, and then they're on their own grad school.
And then your other daughter just graduated from Penn State.
Yeah, she got her master's in acoustics, and she's got a full-time adult job now. So I want to see them all this weekend. My oldest daughter's flying in Saturday. Youngest one's coming in Saturday. My niece is flying in, and the rest of the family's coming to Florida. So for the first time in 20 years, we're going to have the entire family down at a beach house in Florida. So all the nieces and nephews, my brother and sister, and hell, my mom and dad. My mom and dad have been divorced for 21 or 22 years, and they're both going to be there at the same time. First time since they've been divorced that they're going to be there at the same time. So speaking of liquor, I've got a bunch that's going down with me just in case. So I'm a tequila guy when I go to the beach, though. I like it a little lighter.
Yeah, maybe you needed a remote broadcast.
I was going to say, bring the camera.
No. I am. I think we're going to do a remote broadcast from Pigs and Peaches Barbecue Festival when we get back. So I'm trying to think what the dates of that are. It's in Kennesaw, so the 11th and 12th. Or no, 11th and 12th will be the weekend after that. So whatever that be, the 18th and 19th. Pigs and Peaches Barbecue Festival in Kennesaw, Georgia, and we're gonna fire up the Drunken Duroc, my amateur barbecue team, and we'll do a live podcast from there.
I've actually heard compliments on your barbecue, believe it or not.
Who told you that?
I'll remain quiet.
It's look, I don't do many things well in my life. I married up, so I did well there, and I know how to cook, and my barbecue's pretty damn good if I don't say so
What's
myself.
your favorite meat to cook?
My favorite thing to cook is St. Louis spare ribs, just because I've gotten a recipe down. And my mentor, Paul Holden, who owns Willingham's Championship Barbecue, I cooked with him this last weekend. We did a charity cook. We cooked 40 slabs, 16 butts, 40 chickens, and 4 20-pound briskets. And he's going to be on the show here sometime in the near future. We talked about that, but he worked with me on my ribs, and that's what I've done the best with score-wise. I don't do a lot of competitions just because it's a lot of work and nobody really wants to help. It's just way too much work. So usually if I cook in a competition, I'll go cook with one of the pro teams that I know. But sometimes I'll do a backyard team. So we're gonna do a backyard team with up here at Pigs and Peaches, and my backyard team's called the Drunken Duroc, and you can find them on Facebook. I'll be cooking with a guy out of Ohio, David Gross, and I'll be cooking with he used to be a food truck guy, caterer, all that stuff, and of all things now he manages the Chipotle over by Big Chicken. But Pablo Rodriguez, he's a Puerto Rican barbecue guy, man. He's the what do they call it, barbacoa, and I may have butchered that and mispronounced it, but oh my God, that guy can cook like nobody's business. Just really good barbecue. And so those are the guys I usually cook with if we do the backyard stuff. It's a lot of fun.
We kind of cheat. We use a Southern Pride smoker.
There is no cheating about Southern Pride. That's a gas assisted wood smoker.
It is
it's
unbelievable.
Amazing.
It makes a guy from Staten Island a good barbecue guy.
Yeah. No, it's Southern Pride. Southern Pride. I think Southern Pride, and I may be wrong, but I think Southern Pride may have just shut down.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I used to work with a guy from New York, and he said, "I'm doing a barbecue Saturday. Come over." So I came over, and he was doing hot dogs and hamburgers.
That's when I came down here. That was it. We throw some sausage on the.
Yeah.
I was mistaken. It was Deep South that just shut down. They were gravity-fed charcoal smokers, and Southern Pride's still in business. But yeah, that's a gas-assisted wood smoker. It's made for cooking inside, so they vent it out of the building. And no, there's a lot of people using those, and it's not cheating, man. That's good.
No,
you can make
good.
some good barbecue with that.
Yeah, I'm proud.
Is there any food from New York that you miss?
You know, growing up, lasagna was like, that was when you went out as a kid. And, but I guess every gas station, there was always rice balls or risotto balls. So when we had them at Zucca, people were like, I'm like, this is what we ate every day. You could just grab a risotto ball off the counter and, it's delicious.
Yeah.
My mom's all Italian, so we grew up eating a lot of Italian food.
Potato knish.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get that growing up in Atlanta.
That's why I got to get into the bagels too, because we have a great recipe, we can do it good, and
I hope you bring a gluten-free bagel, man. Nobody does them around here.
There's a neighbor of ours that does sourdough bagels, which is very interesting.
Yeah, real sourdough, fermented starter sourdough. I can eat that all day long, and it doesn't bother my stomach. And as my wife will attest to, we were in Ohio a few weeks ago, and her stepmother pulls this huge loaf of sourdough out of the freezer, and she goes, "I picked this up for you a couple of weeks ago." And I brought it home and made a pig of myself for the next few days. And
That's great.
But yeah, I would love to have a good sourdough bagel. I miss good bagels and I miss good biscuits because nobody makes a good gluten-free biscuit. And so maybe someday.
You've been to New York?
I haven't. I've traveled a good bit, and this is the one place I haven't been to.
Do you have sensitive feelings?
I do not.
That's
Except
good.
for the Yankees beating the Braves so many times in the World Series, I was a little sensitive with that.
Yeah, well, fuck the Yankees.
And I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
One of, I forget, the third baseman came and was celebrating at Charlie and Barney's years ago after the game.
Wade Boggs or Jim Lariats or I can't remember.
Who's our, my partner Joe would remember.
You probably had a lot of baseball players come in there after the game.
Yeah, it was great. Because they used to stay at the Ritz down there, so we used to get all the players, all the bands, it was great. It's changed now. They spread them out.
Yeah, I talked to the baseball player one time, and he said that that's a lot of times they go out to dinner after the game, and he would go to bed at 2, and he slept from 2 to 11. That was his schedule. Then he'd get up at 11 and start his process again for the day.
Man, baseball's got that. Those guys play a lot of games in a season. What is it, 162, 164?
162 games.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing. Some of those guys don't even take a day off.
Yes.
And I especially couldn't handle like Mickey Mantle that went out every night after the game.
Those are the days.
Well, he was, him and old Babe Ruth. Those guys were the epitome of physical fitness. They were in shape, mostly round, but it was a shape.
So Eric, your kids. How old are your kids now?
I have a 15-year-old son, Hudson, and my daughter is 17, and she just started her senior year today, and they're at Hillgrove High School.
Okay, awesome.
So
just down the road.
Just right down the road.
Yep.
So
we're kind of in between those two high schools, really.
Right in between, and that's why I've been trying to get a lot of my neighbors to come here. So that's what he was saying. A lot of my neighbors, but just been pretty positive with my neighbors and the reviews.
Good. I believe it or not, we are still. My sister, she actually worked at Hillgrove, so we are trying to sponsor Hillgrove as well, because I believe it or not, I was a Hillgrove supporter before it was knew even Harrison existed. So, but now my kids are going there, so.
Yeah, well, definitely. But I always was a big believer in giving back in the community that your customers are part of. So it's good that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So what's the secret, man? You've got what's the secret to getting a restaurant up and running and keeping it up and running?
I don't know. I'm a Gemini, so my wife, she's like, I always get two things going on, but always changing and always trying to make it better. So thank God.
I mean, is it local marketing or is it just getting good word of mouth or?
Obviously the food is the most important thing and the customer service. And we're not nailing them all the time together, but slowly it's happening. And I think we're going to get there soon. But so far I think the reviews are getting better and we're enjoying it. I think the customers are enjoying it. So we'll see. I signed a 10-year lease, so and I've got some options too. So I'm going to be here for a while. So, like it or not, you got me.
Yeah, this is I think how old is this? This whole facility, not facility, but the shopping center. I think is right at 12 years, and so there was a lot of churn at 10 years, mainly because of COVID and people's leases were coming up. And they're like, "Oh, good opportunity to get out." But there's been a couple of really solid businesses in this area in this whole complex that just have stayed and keep chugging along, and it's a good location, a lot of traffic and good parking. And I know that sounds stupid, but good parking so important.
Absolutely. And not saying anything that supposedly there's a Lululemon coming here, so that would be great.
How do I say this without sounding like a pervert?
Well, don't tell my daughter.
Now I definitely can't say it.
They have the $98 tight pants.
Well, supposedly they have these men's like casual dress pants or something that are all the rage.
Yeah, I'm past the age to be able to wear those.
I think anything past the age of 25 is past the age of being able to wear
I played
those.
golf with a couple of guys that wear the tight pants at the bottom, and I would not be able to pull that off.
My son's wearing the shorts, just so you know. So it's not just for women anymore. So yes. But that should help. Hopefully we get some good tenants in here.
Is he into the hooded sweatshirt when it's 95 degrees outside?
Yep.
Nice. And then wear shorts and a T-shirt when it's 5 degrees outside.
That's exactly right. That's my daughter.
That was my youngest one all the time.
Oh, in the wintertime, my kids are like, the house is cold. I'm like, well, where's that hooded sweatshirt you're wearing in July? Put it on.
Shit. Oh, man. Well, anyhow, yeah, if you don't, we don't have anything else to add, we'll kind of wrap things up. But, I mean, I can't encourage people enough to come over here and see him. Stop down in Atlanta and see the Gibney's down there. It's right downtown, right off International, close to the Hard Rock and close to all the action down on Peachtree.
Do you know what I should add? That a lot of requests for live music. So we are starting on Saturday, 7 to 10, live music at the Tavern up here. So
nice.
Great.
Are you going to do it outside or inside?
We're going to try to do it outside, but and see how it goes. But it's a little hot right now. So
Are you guys going to fire up that nice, beautiful outdoor fireplace this winter or this fall?
We did, and we will again. Yeah, it's
Sat empty
fun.
for years. Never understood that. One more thing I did want to touch on though too, and you kind of talked about giving back here, and you're going to be supporting the football team in that. What other charity or local community things are you doing?
Well, again, everything's geared with sports, but we try. Oregon Park is having their board meetings here, which is nice, just to get involved with them.
And that's where the baseball fields, right? Yeah. So
and the chiropractors I won't, because there's competing chiropractors, but they support and we support them.
They're just kind of donating to the schools. That's your main thing.
A lot of that. I'm drawing blank.
It's amazing how much get put back on the parents and teachers that come out of their own pockets for a lot of these programs.
Oh, yeah. The sports programs, too. I mean, any of the kids that are playing sports, it's horrible expensive. Not that, school's about so much more than
Well, John can
what
answer
sport
that
you're
because
playing.
his daughter was in travel cheerleading, and that's pretty expensive.
Yes, that Stingray Gym. They got us for 10 years. But now she's doing the sideline cheer for, so we're supporting sideline cheer for Harrison as well. So.
And how that, oh, my God. Yeah, the gym stuff. I had a friend that's daughter did that, and the other kids just went without a lot because of the one that was doing the cheer.
I think you and your wife are traveling every weekend to go somewhere else.
It was a lifestyle. I want to say it was like a cult almost, but it kind of was.
Yeah, how many times you been to Disney?
Oh, we did that. Yeah, my daughter started at 3 years old, so yeah, that was part of the ritual. Just to add that we did just start supporting Crunch Fitness. So now my family's members, and we are.
You a corporate sponsor with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be on the treadmill seeing him up on the TVs.
And just to throw one out there, that Hops, Grain and Vine, Steve, and Mike,
Steve's going to do the podcast.
they
Great
are
guys.
phenomenal.
Yes,
great people.
Yeah, that's where we send a lot of people to Hops, Grain and Vine for the different whiskeys we've had on here, kind of between them and Gem City over in Marietta. But Steve's the best, man.
Yeah.
Those guys at Hops, Grain and Vine have been real good with us. They've kind of been a co-sponsor of a few networking events we've done. But Steve, he's actually going to do the podcast eventually. He's a great guy.
And you can do it right here if you want. Anytime,
appreciate
Steve. Anytime you want.
I appreciate that.
Good people.
So, good stuff.
So what's one question you thought we'd ask and we didn't, and how would you have answered it?
I'm not going to go anywhere.
Oh, come on. Give us one.
No, I'm happy to have walk-ons coming in. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I kind of avoided that. I did.
No, it's fine. It's going to be good because we need more.
I was with Home Depot for 25 years, and Home Depot and Lowe's usually build across the street from each other.
Well,
But people always ask
that's
the
what I'm
question, why?
thinking is if we have walk-ons and Ted's, which Ted's is a tiny little bar, but it's not a bad bar. So I got walk-ons and I got Ted's and I got here. Then I can do my own little pub crawl.
Do you know, they should do that here. I believe they tried to get the open container, but unsuccessful. But it would be great in this development.
I'll make my call to Lisa Cupid. I'm sure she'll just listen to what I have
There
to
you
say.
But the Avenues has tried a few things recently with some stand-up comedians outside and some different events.
They're trying hard. They really
Yeah.
are. And, eventually it's going to happen. I mean, there's so much building going on here. I'm very excited about it,
Yeah. So those who don't know, Walk-Ons is a chain that I think Drew Brees is involved in, and it's Cajun food mainly.
is.
Yeah.
Lots of fried food there too, man. Tons of fried food there, but it's mainly Cajun food, and it's going to be interesting to see because I've heard good things about it. And like you said, it'll bring more people here, and more people here are going to see more of the other places that are in here. So it's going to bring traffic. So that's never a bad thing.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Never a bad thing.
Especially both places have plenty of TVs because you cannot eat dinner in here and not see a TV if there's a sporting event going on.
Well, I didn't do what I did at Zuka. I didn't put a TV in every booth.
Oh, yeah.
Because what I learned that when my kids were little, I thought it was a great idea. And then my kids wouldn't talk to me. They would just watch TV the whole time.
Again, talking about our age, but if that Zuka was that far back, it was probably a tube TV in every booth.
Yeah,
Believe it or not,
that's the first
downtown,
thing.
that's all we had.
But that was the first thing my kids would do, would get the remote, turn it to Nickelodeon or whatever, and watch cartoons. So now they just stare at their phones the whole time. But back then it was TV.
So, look, if you like the show, follow us, please, on whatever platform you're listening to, preferably Spotify, since that's what we mainly host the podcast on. But follow us, and then when you're done following, send me an email to whiskeyafterworkpodcast@gmail.com. We have our next drawing will come up, and you'll be entered into the drawing if you send that email. We're going to give away a bottle of Blanton's, and we're going to give away a bottle of whatever the seasonal wine is from Three Strands. So we'll be doing 2 drawings, and so share it, please, and follow us, and we'll keep kind of plugging along. Hopefully we'll have our new studio done in the next month or so, and when that's done, then we can get a little more consistent in putting out episodes. It's been a little spotty through the summer getting people here and trying to find places to do the podcast, so not having a studio hasn't helped. So we'll be able to get back to a pretty steady stable of guests, and I certainly appreciate John coming on and letting us use the place today, and we'll probably do 1 or 2 more from here.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you for letting me guest host. I
know anytime.
I'm no Melissa, but I hope she's having a great birthday.
Yeah, she's probably won't remember most of this birthday. So I talked to her earlier today, and she hadn't even started drinking yet. I was disappointed.
It's probably only about 100.
How can you drink all day if you don't start in the morning? She said it's probably only about 100 what?
106 degrees today.
Yeah, but it's dry heat out there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing Eric in, too. Thank you.
That guy.
Yeah. And one request, can we change it to whiskey while you work? Is that?
Well, you're allowed to do that. The rest of us can't. So.
Cheers.
Anyhow,
Thanks, guys.
cheers.
Appreciate
Cheers
it, man.
time.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
Good
delicious.
choice also. Very good.
See you next week.